Imagine walking into your classroom tomorrow morning. You open the door, people look at you, and instantly they know about that night you cried alone. They know about how much lost and alone you are. You know, they know about the panic attacks that happen due to that exam is anxiety. They know your parents fought every day about your marks, about what you would do, how would you improve. They know your true self, that you still miss someone you pretend you are moved on from, like some old friend, the person you really love, or the failed relationship. They know you hate yourself for mistakes nobody else even remembers. They know you constantly keep comparing yourself. You always regret about the past, like that one step you haven't taken. You're always overthinking about your future, about money, your relationship, your career. Even though you're too young, they're shocked to see you that you carry so much weight within yourself, this much pain. Nothing is hidden anymore. Trauma has become visible, like an aura, like a status bar in a video game, like showing health, HP, and all that, like scars painted across your soul. And here is the terrifying question: would people become kinder? Or would they finally have a reason to avoid you? At first, it sounds like thrilling. It sounds amazing. No pretending, no fake smiles, no nothing, no awkward conversation. You, your real self. No, I am fine. Because everyone already knows the pain hidden inside you. The weird part of yourself. Your hidden self, your true self. Because everyone already knows it. But here is the weird part. After thinking about it for a while, I realized something disturbing. Maybe the reason humans hide pain isn't because they're ashamed. Maybe it's because they knew most people don't know what to what to do with the pain. Means everybody knows the cause of the pain, but they don't know how to solve it. And there is a new emergence that's called anime that has been trying to teach us this for years, like how to deal with the pain. Imagine if young Naruto studied in your class, not the cool Hokage version, not the hero. They won't see the cool Hokage version, not the hero. That 12-year-old Naruto. People wouldn't see blonde hair or blue eyes, or his loud jokes, or his funny things, funny behavior. They would see loneliness. They would see years of eating instant ramen alone. They would see birthdays with no one showing up. They would see a child desperately acting funny to capture their attention, to seek approval. They would see a child desperately acting funny in order to capture their attention because silence felt heavier. And suddenly, his class wouldn't laugh when he acted stupid or indifferently. They would probably just sit there, feeling uncomfortable, feeling a ache in their heart because pain is easier to judge than understanding. Funny thing is, many schools would still have that one guy saying, "Bro, trauma, trauma, that's enough. But have you done your homework? Have you finished your assignment? You haven't brought your stuff." But wait, Naruto isn't the saddest example. Let's talk about someone's career. Gara. People would see a child who never learned what affection feels like. Imagine taking his hand and instantly feeling years of sleepless nights, murder attempts, isolation, fear, hatred, and suddenly Gara stops looking dangerous. You feel like he's someone tragic. He has lost everyone. He's insecure, deeply insecure. He has social anxiety. He's quite introverted. He's even afraid to speak. He starts looking tragic. And this is where psychology becomes interesting. Humans are terrible at understanding invisible suffering. Psychologists call this is empathy gap. We understand cuts, broken bones. We see bandages, but depression, loneliness, anxiety, trauma, these are the things we can't see because these are the injuries that don't bleed. So society often Acts if they don't exist. They're invisible. But here is the twist. What if everyone could see your trauma, your friends, your family, your teacher, your crush, your neighbors, your relatives, or those so called people who mock you, your relatives at wedding, everyone? Would you still crack jokes? Would you still say, I'm just tired, I want to be alone? Or would you avoid people completely? Because nowadays, people are so insecure that they lock themselves in their rooms. They're like avoiding the real world. They want to live in their own world, that so called small room, and living their life watching something like they want to feel something. They want to feel happiness. They want to escape that reality. So people often take comfort in animes, movies, Netflix, everything, so they can escape reality. They want to hide their pain because they want to avoid people completely. Maybe some people would finally hurt you and say, bro, you have suffered too much. That's enough. Maybe others would slowly disappear. Like this is the this is the thing everyone suffers. Because the truth is, many people like happy versions of us. Means they like the perfect version of us. They don't like the flaws, insecurities, anything. They like the edited versions, Instagram versions, achievement versions. Like he is the person who is shining. He is the topper. He's the achiever. He's the painter. He's like everything. Means the so-called Mr. Perfect, the good, like the best at everything, the best boxer, the best dancer, the topper, the handsome guy. Not the other version, the person who has many flaws, the traumatized version, the person who is confused, like what to do in his life. And not everyone stays with that version, and that hurts the most because most of us secretly believe if people saw our real scar, they would leave. Think about it. It's a visual. Just visualize yourself. People saw a villain. Nobody saw a teenager carrying impossible choices. People saw anger. Nobody saw his grief. Nobody saw his pain. People saw an awkward boy. Nobody saw years of guilt eating him alive. Like he had no other chances. In order to survive, he had chosen the wrong path and he kept moving forward on that path. And somewhere in the path, he lost himself completely. Anime constantly reminds us pain changes behavior, but behavior often hides pain. The rude person, the quiet person, the overachiever, the class clown, the person always online sometimes. They're just survivors wearing costume means they are trying to hide the pain. Those are the people who hide most of it, their pain, their trauma, their anxiety in wearing costumes. Then I realized something. Maybe trauma already is visible, just not in the way we imagine. What we imagine, the anger, it shows up as anger, perfectionism, people pleasing to other. Like you have seen the simp, so-called simp animes and all that. You have read many things about simp. Why do they please people? Because they want attention. They want to escape that hellish pain, that anxiety. They want to forgive their past. Attachment issues, fear of abandonment, like the think that whole world will abandon them. And they often crack jokes, constant joking. They never ask for help. Always apologizing. You have seen in many animes, movies, or anybody, the person who is deeply insecure applies to others in order to forgiveness. He is the person who always overthink like what would people say about him. He should say this sentence or not. This is happens with introverted. People don't hide trauma. Trauma learns how to disguise itself. So people often escape reality and they live in their own virtual world, their imaginary world. Imagine one final scene. You walk into class, everyone can see your trauma. your insecurities, your fears, your worst memories, and then nobody laughs. Nobody judges you, nobody pities. Someone simply smiles, move their chair, and says, "Sit here, you have suffered a lot." Think about that thing. No question, no advice, no fixing, just presence. And maybe that's what healing actually feels like. Like the feeling of understanding. That people will understand you. Not finding people who completely understand your wounds, but finding people who decide to stay with regarding your past, your anxiety, your trauma, even after seeing them. And may taught many of us something adults forgot. The strongest characters weren't people who never broke. They were people who carried invisible battles. The battles that were invisible, the unbearable pain, the sufferings they endured, the trauma, that anxiety, that helplessness, and still choose kindness. Means they had many reasons to become unkind, to become villain, to turn evil, but they still choose kindness. Maybe everyone around us already has many scars. Maybe they have unforgettable past, like unbearing their unbearing pain. Sorry for the English. Unbearable pain. And maybe we are all walking through school, colleges, job, relationship, looking completely fine, fit and fine, the normal looking guy, always smiling, while secretly fighting wars nobody can see. That fear, that overthinking about what if I don't become rich, what if she rejects me, what about my looks, my height, that insecurities, that fear, and some psychological scars, some anxieties, some fear. And maybe the question isn't what people could see your trauma. Maybe the real question should be like if everyone around is carrying the same invisible pain, means not the same, like something similar pain, how differently would you treat them tomorrow? Comment one word: healing, tired, surviving, seen, fighting. Or write the name of an anime character whose pain you understand the most, or you can associate with him and feel like the same pain that like the anime character.